TheRantCast. All right, welcome to the TheRantCastPodcast. We're back in 2026, and we hope that our sound is working.
Hello.
It is. Hey, this is Kurgan. I got strangebus with me. We're back live on Twitch. First, before we get started, of course, as always, we shout out suno.com, AI generated music, courtesy of strangebus and his amazing talents putting that together. Woo! Hey, Jacer's
I didn't
here.
do nothing. I
Yeah,
didn't do nothing.
nothing. That's all we
Nothing.
got. Well, okay, so yeah, we've got a show. As you may be able to detect, I'm getting over a bit of a cold here, but we'll do what I can. We're coming back in the new year with some topics. Um, of course, you can check out my stuff on HeroQuest fans on Twitch, twitch.tv/HeroQuest fans, also XSC3, home of HeroQuest fans on YouTube. You can check him out, The Strange Bus on YouTube and also on Twitch. And
Every once in a while.
every once in a while, yeah, you've been doing
Every
some
once in a
stuff.
while.
And then we've got our combined work on Spotify, the Rantcast podcast on the audio version on Spotify. So let me get our screen going here, and yeah, it's good to be back after a little bit of a vacation, a little bit of a break.
Yeah, it's been a minute. It's been a hot minute. Um,
Or a cold minute, depending
Hope
on.
everybody's had a good holiday, whether it's Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Yom Kippur,
Yeah,
right?
Yom Kippur.
Uh, Whatever holiday you like to celebrate during the winter season, we
Bohemian
support you.
Rhapsody.
And we hope you had a good one. We hope you took care of yourselves and each other.
And each
That's
other.
the big thing.
Yep.
But yeah, we got a pretty good show. We're kind of just talking. We're kind of just having a good chat.
Yep.
Because right now, uh, as far as it goes, we're coming back to a brand new year. There's stuff that we've taken from 2025 um, that was some good. I would like to say lots rocky, some bad. Um, but I would like to take this episode to kind of use our topic time to kind of reflect on that. We do have some HeroQuest stuff, or you said
Very
Limited
minimal.
Run was one of our,
Yeah, limited run games.
which kind of cuts into that thing anyway, like the topic I would want to speak on anyway. But all in all, I made one of my biggest New Year's resolutions was not to fall into a lot of the doom and gloom of it all, right?
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
I know that when I like to try and somewhat prepare for these podcasts, even though life gets a little hectic and I take a look at everything, or I'm usually on the road. I'm listening to a lot of documentaries. I'm listening to a lot of people talk about what's going on today, or in pop culture, or in entertainment, or just in general. And not all of it's positive. So I'm all like, oh gosh. And I'm like, how are we going to live? But at the end of the day, life goes on. We all come home, we all go to bed and wake up and start the day all over again. So, um,
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, I made, to simplify, I made my New Year's resolution to kind of be a little bit more positive and reflective, even on our podcast where we're supposed to get all ragey and crazy about stuff. Um, I still made that my
Yeah.
my thing.
That's a good resolution.
So, but all in all, how are you?
Oh yeah. Um. Yeah, it's great to be back on the show. I'm with you as far as that goes. So my family did not get together for our Thanksgiving. I mean, my siblings got together with their families, but we were not all able to get together. So, oh yeah, good point, Jacer. We'll cover that. Yeah, so we ended up getting together after New Year's, and we combined Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's all together. So we did the little party poppers with the confetti, and we did the turkey, and we did the pumpkin pie and the gift giving. It was pretty intense, pretty fun. Um,
Dang.
yeah, I enjoyed it. I love that kind of stuff. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and I've been having some kind of
Um,
screen issues here, so sorry about that. Of course, there's got to be system issues. It wouldn't be the Rantcast podcast
are you
without it.
freezing up?
Well, holiday triple play. That's right. Well, my brother-in-law did something where you've heard of Christmas in July. He did July and Christmas, so they like grilled and like had hot dogs and stuff. It was crazy, but they had a lot of leftovers, and it's like, yeah, let's have some. Also, champagne and hamburgers. You know, it works
For Christmas?
for New Year's.
Oh, New Year's. So I was like, I mean, hey, that's all
we,
right.
we were we were
Oh, good.
just playing fast and loose with the whole thing. Yeah.
All
So
good.
yeah, that's so I've been doing well. I've been doing good. Trying some new things. Got some plans in the works. I'm really getting excited for this replay of the Lord of the Rings in theaters in about a week's time and towards the end of the month. So, yep,
Are you are you super excited? Can't wait.
can't wait.
I feel like kind of like with Star Wars, that was kind of my big thing. I I wanted to see Star Wars back in theaters again, and I was like, you know what? I'll just watch the ones I really really want to watch,
Hmm.
and that's what I did.
Yeah, they kind of bungled that. I feel like they've
You
been
see,
doing the
bungled it.
bungled it. Yeah. So when you get like okay, so George Lucas did the special editions, 97 to 98. You had the theatrical presentation, and it was yeah, they would stagger them out, but you could at a certain point you could go to the theater, you could watch A New Hope. Right after that, you could watch Empire. Right after that, you could watch Jedi, or you could do them all one day, or you could do like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, like you could do it like that. And for these upcoming anniversaries of Star Wars, like Return of the Jedi came back to theaters, Empire came back to theaters, but they were staggered so much. It was like, years in between. It just seemed stupid. Like they missed their opportunity. They could
Yeah,
have had some big event, rather than just doing it at a convention where it's, limited number of people can do it. It's like I know everybody has a copy, but to have the theatrical experience together, you know, I prefer you space it out maybe one day, but yeah, just missed opportunity. I would have loved to do that, you know. So too bad. But yeah, Lord of the Rings is doing it the right way. Now the only problem is they're the extended editions, so you're going to be sitting there for like 4.5 hours. So don't get the big drink if you don't want to miss something.
yeah. If you don't want to miss the parts you've already seen,
Potatoes. Yep.
boil them, mash them, cook them in stew.
Yep.
Potatoes.
Yeah. All the
Oh
memes.
my god.
Yep. I mean, people talk about their chicken jockey moments. It's like forget that. Lord of the Rings has like 100 of those moments.
Chicken jockey moments.
Ah!
Like
Yeah, people
my kids do that all the time.
haven't been to the movies before. It's like you just gotta go crazy. Throw your popcorn, get thrown out of the theater.
Time to watch the longest walk. Hey, every step he takes after the Shire is the longest. Is the farthest he's ever been from home.
That's right.
Farthest from home I've ever been.
Yep.
So what you do if you really want to make it a long movie is there is a guy on YouTube who literally replays that scene every time Frodo takes another step, and he did the whole movie, so
That's
never got a strike,
that's funny.
and it's the farthest away from home he's ever been.
It's still the farthest. If he takes a step backwards though, does it? It's like yeah,
I don't know,
he
but
went
it's like
quite.
literally like you get to like 2 hours and he's still at like the tavern because every time Frodo takes a step, it cuts back to that scene. He goes, "What? What are you doing? If I take another step, It'll be the farthest away from home I've ever been.
Yep. Hey, I'm a guy who likes to hike too, so I don't care if it's a movie about walking. Kevin Smith can take a long walk off a short pier for all I care.
Hey, it
Frickin'
was
nerd.
true.
Yeah,
Even the trees walked in those movies.
that's right.
It's
Got him.
like probably my favorite
I'm
part about
walking
Clerks 2
here.
ever, and that's gonna be a cringy moment for me.
Yep.
But like, yeah,
Yeah. Doesn't mean it's.
here's the first movie. You ready for the second movie?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a
Don't forget the third movie.
string of anecdotes. I really think it could have benefited from an intermission, though. I mean, they could have done
Oh
fan
man,
stuff. I mean, I suppose from the theater's point of view, yeah, they just want to pop the movie in, get people in and out of there. But I
watch
mean,
him
you're
if it's your
hungry,
first
you want
ever,
popcorn.
it's your first ever experience watching those movies, or if you haven't watched them in a long time. I would just say if it's going to be your first real exposure, again, I recommend doing it when you're younger
Yeah.
and for film. And it's just the fact that I get tired. I just get tired. Even playing video games, I just get tired. So like, I sit down, I'll watch. I can watch two of those movies. I can watch two Star Wars movies. I get to the TV shows. I'll probably pop in and watch a couple TV shows, and then I'm spent. And it's mostly just like mentally, like I'm ready for a nap. Like I'm just ready to sleep, or I'll fall asleep. And yeah, I don't know if I could do. I don't know if I could do. Oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
Well, you got to hit me with bad news at the beginning of the year already.
I know.
That's.
I know. Well,
Uh,
let's keep talking about Lord of the Rings for a minute here.
but yeah,
Yeah, there's the fatigue. The
like I
fatigue
said,
sets in. Yeah.
yes. So I'm doing what I did was because my youngest son, Ivan, is doing. He's too young to remember anything like this, but like he loves to watch Star Wars.
Nice.
And in a time where I could care less about that franchise, I
Uh-huh.
finally put it back on. And I once again start with the prequels because I'm okay watching the prequels, even as corny as they are.
Yep.
I'll sit down and put them on, and I will. He started watching them, and he would jump up and down and have a great time. And I'm like, all right, we got past episode 2, thank God, because the love scene always like is it's always hard to burn through with that.
Like,
The
Dad, I don't like
the
snow.
romanticness is yes.
This is not what love is
And
like, my son. Well, okay, sometimes, but you don't want it to be.
but once you get into the meat and potatoes of episode 2, it starts to pick up a little bit more. But once you get past that, you get into what I like to call the real artistry of what made Dave Filoni a good, like, I guess, character. A good artist or person for Star Wars. And that was just the beginning of the Clone Wars franchise. So
Mm.
I have a episode guide that I pick, which has certain episodes you can watch. So you don't have to you just skip through all the filler. And that helps shorten it down. And then
Mm.
you'll watch episode 3. And then you could choose to watch the other stuff because there's a fuck ton of shit between episode 4 or 3 and 4 now. There's a lot of it. There's Andor, there's Rogue One, there's Rebels, there's all that stuff. So if you ever want to pull a true Star Wars-a-thon anymore, it will take you like a week and a half or more.
That's too much.
Yeah, it's insane. So, and that's if you want to understand anything because they like to incorporate stuff for fan service now. So if you get to like Ahsoka or anything like that, you're like, who's this fucker? Because they keep bringing people back so that like all the Disney adults go woo,
Chicken Jockey.
and like Yeah, like no, for real. Like the chicken. Like I'm gonna start calling that chicken jockey moments because that's exactly what it
He
is.
Vadered. He Vadered. Who was that?
He
Weird.
Vadered. He Vadered all over me. Yeah, like stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I I don't mind having an OMG moment every now and then. Like, oh, somehow Palpatine returned, but like just doing it out of nowhere or all the time brings in the what we have now for Marvel fatigue and Star Wars fatigue, and they're not stopping. Disney's like, oh, you got fatigue. Well, have some energy drinks and sit down on the couch and enjoy our content some more.
You want a cup of Jawa juice?
Yeah, come to the theme park and drink the blue milk. It's good for you.
Yep. Not the green milk. That stuff will kill you.
Yeah, and pick up a pack of Pall Malls when you're out, motherfucker.
Yeah. I'm gonna go back home
Yeah,
and rethink my life.
you want to buy some death sticks? But yeah, so I don't know. I'm right now starting on some of the TV shows. I'll probably brush up and get an episode guide for the other ones
Wow.
because for them it's cheaper, more effective to do TV than it is to do movies.
But you're dedicated,
Or
though. It sounds like you're getting your fandom back.
not really. It's just what's it like? People like to say when you're invested so long,
Oh,
it's more of a loss. I've been into Star Wars since I was 5 years old.
dang.
To up and walk away from all of it, yeah, you feel a little empty, and it's really sad because next to religion, it is something I've been into most of my life. So,
Yeah.
um, it's been a real eye opener because not a lot of people up and quit something they've been faithfully dedicated to for so long, like literally just don't want to have anything to do with it anymore. I know people that have, and I've heard of people that have, but it does leave like a hollow hole. And it's not like I've like gone through a breakup or anything. I'm not crying over it. It's just like I sit here and I turn around. I'm like,
Yeah. Well, that's valid.
like I've decorated my room. I'm in my 30s, and I'm not like a kid anymore. So like it's one of those things that separates me from kind of the rest of my, which I'm another thing I want to get into during this rant cast is something that separates me from the rest of my demographic or my generation is I am not I do not want to consider myself a Disney adult or a what do they call them on that TikTok platform, the Jim Carrey face person where they're going like and they like crimping their faces. It's weird. People are doing some weird shit.
I
Well, it's
I don't know what that is.
it, like the
I know what TikTok is,
I
but
don't know.
I know wretched
People on my
has of
age demographic
Newman.
just have this weird thing with not growing up. Like
I don't want to
we do
grow up.
the basics. It's like a Peter Pan syndrome. Like
Oh yeah.
we do the basics of our life and just it's okay to have a kid mentality. I'm not saying that either.
Young at heart. Yeah.
Like what was it? Full House. Like to have like the Joey. Was it Joey? The goofy one. To have like the Joey mentality, where like because it makes you more interactable with kids and it helps. I think cope with harder parts of life, and I think it helps keep you optimistic. But like when you internally cannot tell the difference between your age and like you can't cope with real world events and
Yeah.
you like to surround yourself with stuff because it's like a safe space.
Yeah.
I feel like
Can't take life
that's
seriously.
that's hard on you.
Yeah.
So
It could be done in an unhealthy way. Yeah. Makes you wonder about
but
people.
yeah, don't want to trample over anybody's like love for anything, but
We just lost the Disney adult demographic. Great
I'm
job.
okay with that.
Yeah.
No offense to Disney adults,
See ya.
but yeah, there's about 1,500 other people on podcasts out there.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with that. But in Workon says it's nostalgia. It is.
hmm
something I think has always been there, but I think it took off all really big around my late teens, early 20s,
Yeah.
and it just hasn't really faded. And I'm kind of waiting for the nostalgia craze to fade.
Yeah.
Like it'll always be there, but like the craze to fade. Like they utilize it for a certain number of years on people. Like, hey, remember this? And then
Yeah.
like
I remember it
then it's
now.
over.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, instead of like
Well, they
like
could do it.
Pokemon being a thing for like fucking 30 years. Like,
Yeah.
hey, you remember Pikachu? Like, yeah, we remember Pikachu.
He's right over there.
Like,
He's standing right behind me, isn't he?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, stuff like that. So I don't I don't know what else to say in that general the general area other than the fact that like I like Star Wars. I probably always will till I'm long gone, and it'll probably pass down to some of my kids. But it's one of those things where I like it for what it started, and for all the stuff that I grew up with, and maybe that is just a nostalgia thing. Maybe that is. I don't care. If that's what it is, then that's what it is. I'm not a scientist or a psychiatrist or whatever. I'm not somebody who's going to break that down. But at the end of the day, I can tell you one thing: Disney has not done a good job with it. So, and there are people who like it. That's fine. But are you talking, Kurgan? Your thing's lighting up. I'm not hearing you.
No, no. Yeah.
Okay.
I
Okay.
was.
I just want to make sure I wasn't interrupting you or anything.
Oh no.
But
I was getting texts coming through. I was trying to mute my phone, so it wasn't chirping at me.
but yeah, I feel like at the end of the day with that, some people like it, and if you like it, that's fine. I mean, I'm not going to tell you how to live your life, but I will definitely debate with you on why I don't think it's good. So, and there are things that have kind of proven that. If it was good, I think the Star Wars Space Cruiser probably would have lasted a lot longer.
Oh yeah.
And like, there's a lot of things that Disney tried to capitalize on that would have been really easy because Star Wars is it's like somebody giving you keys to a kingdom.
Yeah.
If you can't capitalize on that, there's something wrong.
Yeah.
Like it's like the cheat codes. They give you cheat codes
You still lost.
for money,
Yeah.
and you're still losing. You're losing. There's TV shows they couldn't accomplish with it. There were theme parks that they made way too expensive. There were like attractions they couldn't keep. Like that's bad. So, um,
Yeah.
if you have trouble getting Star Wars to work for you when it was at its peak, that's not good.
Yeah. They should have watched Jurassic Park. Don't listen to the blood-sucking lawyer. We'll have a coupon day.
Member berries? What?
Member berries. And all that meme. Member. I don't even
Oh,
remember.
yes. Okay.
Yeah. Thanks, Bohemius. Thanks for even. There's probably even nostalgia for the nostalgia jokes at this
Oh,
point.
yeah.
Yep. Nostalgia just isn't what it used to be, man. When it first started, it
Nope.
was so good, but now it's kind of boring. It kind of played out.
But it's always, like I said, it's always been there.
Yeah, yeah. I remember when
Like,
they remember in Back to the Future Part 2 where they had the nostalgia bar. I mean, I remember when those diners started opening. It was like the 50s style diners. This
yeah.
was the 80s, and yeah, it just kind of went from there. A lot of the stuff were just fads. Remember when people were doing swing dancing and wearing zoot suits and stuff?
Remember when? Like, see, you're already doing it.
Yeah,
You got caught. You got. I I still like those diners. I grew up a lot during
mhm,
grew up during that time when you could eat there. Like during the time when those were like becoming popular again.
yeah.
Those eat-in diners and like buffets when they were gaining traction.
Hell
And
yeah.
now they're all falling apart. Like there's
Yep.
only like a couple diners around where I'm at, and they're like really run down. And like
Hmm.
the buffet thing,
Hmm.
even in casinos, it's starting to like fade out
Oh man.
because nobody wants to eat themselves to death. But like at the end of the day, like still a good buffet, like where you could grab a plate, grab another plate, and still get like your money's worth,
Yeah.
and then be good for the rest of the day. Like I'm like don't like do it every day, man. But like
Yeah.
I remember like
When I was a
decent
teenager, that was the best.
decent buffets.
Bottomless stomach.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
oh, like whatever. If the big 400-pound person can go in and eat their self to death, but like, I mean, that's their choice. We're all about making money, right? But
Yeah,
like at the end of the day, like that
7
was
years.
the bomb,
Yep.
and now like it's
What
all
are you
other weird shit.
I can't
But
I as soon as you said casino buffet, I was thinking of National Lampoon's Vegas Vacation, where it's
yeah,
like you only need one plate, Clark, and it's like I'll take some of that blue. What was it? The
blue,
yellow.
the blue with the yellow. Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't I prefer Christmas Vacation to Vegas Vacation, but that there are some moments in that movie that are just chef's kiss.
Jacer says Star Wars had so much lore. Disney dropped the ball. WaterCon replies Disney lost the meaning of Star Wars, like people who have lost the meaning of Christmas. Corporate greed is real. I couldn't have said it better myself.
Yep, we need Linus to come
Um,
out
it,
and get the microphone, tell us the true meaning of Star Wars.
I was telling somebody here, and like I said, I don't want to get too deep or political or anything because I don't really have if anybody really, I don't really have an official bias. It's more I just bring this up because it really links into that. But I was talking to one of my close personal friends today, and he was like, whatever happened to like people talking about like starting an uprising or something? Like, do you really want an uprising? Because those cause more harm than good. And he was like, well, like not like that, but like what happened to people just speaking up? And
Yeah,
he's like, I want people to speak up against our government, man. And I was like, look, first you got to start with the people who pay the politicians and stuff. Who do you think pays those people
right.
besides us?
Yeah.
The big corporate conglomerates, and that's why I have
Ones who
such a
fund their
big
campaigns in it.
hate boner for them. Because they're the ones who will change the laws.
Right.
They have so much money. They have life-changing amounts of money that they could say, "Hey, just look past this." And just for a little bit, look past this because we have so much money, and they look ahead to how much money they're going to make that it doesn't matter. Like, just turn the other way. And I mean, it's probably not as easy as that. Like, but if they can turn the tide to your political career, or at least get you started, why wouldn't you? Like, it all makes sense. And you look forward and you're like, oh, it's not gonna hurt nothing. It's just this city. Like, it's why it's personally why I think California's such a sinkhole right now. But it has so many regulations.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter because everybody keeps fucking breaking the rules.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where, if you really want to blame somebody, I really think that it's, big corporations, at least here in the United States. Yeah. I don't know about anywhere else. Like
I think around the world, different perspectives.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I mean, as a consumer, if you throw your weight around, I mean, we can be fickle, like as consumers, definitely fickle. But if for 1 second they think that, oh my gosh, we're going to lose money if we don't do what people want, like they'll buckle immediately. So that shows that you have a little bit of power. I mean, if you just suck it up and say, well, there's nothing we can do. You don't even try. Yeah, how are you going to accomplish your other goals if you can't even tell,
except
Walmart that they can't do
except
that.
for Nvidia's Jensen Huang.
Oh,
so yeah, this was. I know we were just talking about Star Wars. I want to go back to this, but you made a great segue into that. We were talking about the AI front, right? We're thanking Suno.com, which I do thank Suno for allowing to give me at least the skills to create my own music if I'd like to, because at the end of the day, places like OpenAI, Sora, stuff like that, they rely solely based on AI to do something. You type something in and it appears. If you ever heard of a channel called Gamers Nexus, I would very much for you to like to check them out. They did one video. They did a year-round coverage of all of their videos. So it's like maybe 30, 40 minutes. Take 30, 40 minutes of your time, look up this video, and because they will explain to you all the factories they visited in 2025, the interviews they conducted with multiple shipping companies, actual silicone manufacturers, stuff like that, to get their opinions on the current climate of of last year, and everything that was going on, as well as when they were in Thailand, they did something with NVIDIA, and NVIDIA tried to bribe them into making a good review, in which they shut them down and left. So, Jensen Huang is now working with AI. He's trying to capitalize on like the AI boom right now.
Do you have a link?
And there's a lot of
throw up on screen.
I do not, but you can find it if you look up things like NVIDIA Palantir.
Okay.
Or I guess you could look up the fact that they have massive data centers right now that are being built around, I think, California and stuff. They have massive data centers all over that are currently without power because the power grid doesn't support. But him, Sam Altman, a lot of the big AI people are currently trying to work to expand and compete with China. And even Jensen Huang's working with the U.S. on a military level to try to get the AI bubble to not burst, I guess, so they can cover expenses, as well as, like I said, catch up and make sure that we are the leader in that industry. It's him and some other big corporate losers, but they're getting so big that, like I said, they're building data centers all around the country, and a lot of these data centers are pulling hardware that you and I would buy with the current climate, and they're just hogging this hardware.
Yeah, I'm just showing on screen here for reference. This is nvidianews.nvidia.com, so as biased as you can possibly get. But yeah, Palantir and NVIDIA team up to operationalize AI, turning enterprise data into dynamic decision intelligence. This is from October.
Yes.
Yep. Read all about it if you wish.
Which, like I said, Palantir is going to be a big thing on risk-based decisions, which was scaring people into thinking like, well, what if Palantir evolved not just risk-based decisions for marketing, but can also be used to, because it's going to be monitoring people.
Yeah.
If it goes green, into risk-based decisions for people on their information, like a watchdog scenario. Like it will analyze people, know who they are, and try to stop people before a crime is even committed.
Oh man, we need Tom Cruise in the future crime. What was that movie called? Where they have the psychics in the water and they're like,
I have no idea. What?
Dang it. There was that Tom Cruise sci-fi movie where it was like future crime. So they would see the future and they would see the crime you commit and then arrest you before.
Are you talking about
what was the name? I can't think of that. It was like a flop at the time and everybody made fun of it. But it's been so long.
Dude, I know what you're talking about. I just can't remember the
Minority Report. Yes.
Minority Report. Yeah, that's
I can't believe it. Every day I would wake up and think Minority Report, and I'd be thinking Minority Report all day long, and like, every joke, I'm laying here in milk thinking about Minority Report, and then I forgot about it. It's like I can't believe it. I must be getting old.
But anyway, like there's a big GPU hike right now, and they were just starting to settle down prices. Well, now they're buying them back all up again, and right now it's big businesses, like I said, like Sam Altman and other big businesses that are working with AI to help build these data centers, and with Crucial still in the game, but their parent company no longer really doing stuff, or at least supporting their current business. They are allowing those RAM prices to go up. Well, that stuff's getting bought out as well to fuel these data centers or to fuel the game streaming epidemic. So what's happening is I say that because what's happening is if you want to build a computer today, a RAM kit, like a 64 gigabyte RAM kit, Corsair one, the one that I have, was I think $200 at max. It's almost $1,000 now
Yeah.
just for RAM.
Yep.
An Asus GPU that I tried to price point about a month ago was almost at $3,000. We are competing price wise with the corporate conglomerate because they're buying from each other and they're willing to pay those prices, if not more. So you can't really, you could say, I'm not buying it. I choose to pay, or I choose to make that decision with my wallet, but it doesn't matter at that point. Because that's the only time I could tell you that it doesn't matter what you do. The only thing that would change that is if people stopped playing games entirely. Because it's mostly to feel, or if people stopped doing AI at all. Like if that AI bubble pops and people like fucking actually speak up and stop doing stuff, then maybe we might have a chance.
Yeah.
But like at that point, that's what's fueling those prices. So you're going to have game streaming be a more viable option because now you're looking at places that are like, oh, it's only $20, $30 a month to play with minor amounts of ads. Or you could pay $50 a month, play with no ads. And you get a priority queue. And imagine, because right now game streaming is not popular, right? You probably hop into a game and you'd be fine. But imagine what happens when thousands of people hop on, or millions of people hop on because they don't have a choice. Like think of the next 10, 20 years.
Yeah.
You're going to be in a queue line if you're like a basic subscriber.
Yeah.
You're going to go to play GTA 6 or something, and you're going to be waiting 25 minutes before you can even start the game.
That's worse than like
And then
back
you
in
have
the shareware days when we had the nag screens that you had to pay to get rid of.
Yeah. Or you have to wait for an ad, like with streaming services. You have to, every once in a while, when you hit the pause screen, an ad plays for about 5 minutes, and you can't get out of it until it's done.
Yep, and it's so
you go
short.
up, get your drink and whatever, but
still.
So
The bathroom, yeah.
Yeah. So at the end of the day,
it just ruins the experience.
It does. It does. Yeah. It's depressing. It really does, and that's what got onto me. And like I said, Steve Burke, I believe is his name. I might be getting it wrong, but he's the guy at Gamers Networks or Gamers Nexus. He does the, he's the kind of the editor in chief, I believe. He does the stuff for the video. He has a whole team though, and I don't usually call out too many other YouTubers or channels, but I would give them a look because right now they look into Intel, AMD, and NVIDIA, and AMD right now is following suit along with NVIDIA. So really, no matter which hardware manufacturer you pick, you are not really safe because I think Intel is going to be hopping on that bandwagon sooner rather than later. And it's kind of like one of those things where if you plan on doing a computer build, do it now or not at all.
Shoot.
Because I don't see, it was like I was saying earlier last year, I don't really see a better option anymore.
Yeah, I bought my computer a few years ago, and I guess I'm kind of stuck with it.
I mean, unless you plan on just saving a couple, I mean, like really, like if you save
money to blow, I mean,
$5,000-$10,000.
I have so many games. Listen, I have so many like retro games that I can enjoy. Like I'm not their target demographic, but yeah, I feel bad for anybody who's like trying to do it.
Well, now, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Cheaper computer builds might still be like reachable, but like once again, they may not be built with love or care as much, especially if you're somebody who doesn't know how to build them.
Fair enough.
So, like, yeah, let me like explain. Like a GPU, like a 5070 or something, may not be as viable as like the 5090s or whatever as they're trying to sell. I mean, they did come with missing ROMs, but like you may not be getting a better product now from now on. Because once again, NVIDIA is working on selling better products to businesses. So it just depends. Like I said, and that's speculative. I'm not stating that as fact. But that's kind of where I'm going with that, because with last year, with what I've read, and I'm not just going off Gamers Nexus on this one, what I've read from customer reports, everything that I said, the 50 series launch was a mess from the get-go. It was a paper launch. They didn't have enough product to sell. Then they tried to sell the 5070 and say it had 4090 performance at $500. And that was a bold-faced lie. And then they also tried to cover that up. And then on top of that, all 50 series cards lost DirectX support. Or not DirectX support, but physics support for 32-bit applications, which not a lot of people cared about because most people playing newer games aren't going to notice that.
Yeah.
But if you're wanting to play a classic game like Mirror's Edge or anything like that that requires physics, your game's going to run at 16 FPS.
Yikes. That sucks.
So, because your card doesn't know how to handle physics anymore because they dropped proprietary software. So, and it's not an option to turn it off. Some of those games required it.
Yeah.
So if you're like let's say it's a classic game that you enjoyed and loved, you're fucked.
King says,
unless you have an old card.
16 FPS is probably fine. Oh man, always sarcastic.
Yeah, probably fine, King.
Yeah.
But
if you're playing a game from 1977, maybe, but yeah. 30 FPS has been the standard for games for a while, and then we got into the modern era with 60 and 200 and 28,000 FPS. I'm just kidding. I don't know what people are up
to. That's what we'll get eventually, like 1,000 FPS. Somebody will be like, I've got 1,000 FPS on my gaming rig. I only paid 20 grand for it.
Would nvidia let us down?
Yeah.
Wow. Laying it on pretty thick tonight. Well,
I think he's messing with me. If I know my buddy over there, I think he's messing with me. But yes, I mean, you should watch the keynote for last year. Jensen 1 was a mess, man. Starts off with "Do you like my jacket?" Like, come on, guy's like a narcissistic mess. So it's it's not great. But getting away from the Star Wars topic we were just talking about, I don't want to go too far away from it.
Go ahead.
It's a bad business practice, but it might be one that we all have to adapt to, and that's including me. Like, I might just have to find another way to stream eventually, or I might just have to use this for the foreseeable future, because I don't really want to bank on having 5 different game streaming services at $40 a month.
Yeah.
Because let's say Watch Dogs or one game was on a streaming service and it moved, like Netflix does with their licenses. Like, oh, we only have this for like a year, and then what happens to my saves? Like, the saves are going to be gone. So I hope you guys enjoy replaying the same fucking game from the beginning over and over. It's insanity. But like, I'm good with what I have, and then that's where I come back to the Star Wars thing, right? Is yes, we are in an ever-changing environment, and that was brought up to me a lot in Discord. We are in an ever-changing environment, but there are some things we can adapt to that are good, but there are some things that are just corporate greed, which, like was brought up by Wordicon, corporate greed is real. Mm-hmm. We don't have to sit by and just take it. Voice your opinions, right? Tell people that some shit just sucks. Tell people that it's not okay. It's not fair. Like, this is not ethical. Not to mention the fact that some of these data centers that the NVIDIA people are building, they are building in California next to people's homes, which they have to bypass the Clean Air and Water Act. Which means that, yeah, they're fucking with people's air and water.
Hmm.
Like, do you want to live next to somewhere where you're gonna get brownouts and you might not get water all the time because these things suck up. The data centers not too far away from where I live suck up millions of gallons of water a day.
Wow.
So
Just so
like,
I can get my
yeah, and that,
slop.
well, not just your slot, but like that's Facebook and shit. Like we have
Shoot.
Facebook data centers over here.
Dang.
Like imagine an AI data center. There's one that they're trying to build that's almost as big as like fucking like the city of Manhattan,
Wow.
and like that's humongous and unnecessary. And that's what AI is. AI is slop. There was a CEO. Was it the CEO of Microsoft now? The current one. The lady was like, "Please stop calling AI slop. It hurts my feelings." Like, fuck off.
Your slop. Yeah.
Like, because that's truly what it is.
Yeah.
And to me, it's always going to be that. It's fun. It's fun to use. I'm not going to say it's not fun to use,
Hmm.
but I would not sacrifice my quality of life for it.
Yeah.
I would not tell people that millions of people need to lose their job for it. I wouldn't. It's not worth it. It
No.
was fun to do deep fakes back in the day. It was fun to pull pranks and create music. I liked the Dolly program when shit just looked fucking weird and
Mhm.
abnormal and uncanny. But now we're
Or my
trying
finger
too
painting.
fucking hard.
Yeah.
Like, if anything, we should be creating counter programs for these things, so we can like if you wanna like counteract other countries and be the leader in something, we should not. We should make things that help spot how like
Yeah.
the errors in AI, so that we don't get fucking scammed.
Yeah. Well, try putting it
Because
on a HeroQuest cover and we'll catch it. Too soon. Yep.
like I said, man, if it's done well, there are certain models that make things almost impossible to see, and that's just been the last couple of years. It's been really hard.
Yeah.
Um, First, it was like you could tell with fingers because it couldn't do fingers. Now it's doing hands well. You give it another year, they keep this shit up, and it might be like the only thing you'll be able to tell is attitude, like how people talk or show expression
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And it's just it's weird. It's
Very weird.
that's the major thing is the fact that it's so real, but we haven't regulated it fully to the
Hmm.
point to where like once again we're still in a world where international calls come from scammers to try to get old people to
Yep.
pick up and go to Target for Best Buy gift or for Target gift cards
Yep.
or Best Buy gift cards, and the only
Walmart.
people defending these aren't our government or the law. It's YouTubers.
Yeah. Influencers. Who
Do
those?
not redeem. Yeah.
Who's influencing the influencers? Yeah. Well, yeah.
So
Those videos are always in my feed. Like, I scammed a scammer.
yeah,
I deleted his PC. Yeah.
just stuff like that.
It's
Like Jim
cathartic because
Browning's a
it's so common.
saint.
So there's a couple things.
But yeah,
This has been a great topic. Finish your thought, and then I wanted to acknowledge a couple
oh no,
things.
I'm good, man. I'm gonna let you go. I've been going for like what
I'm gonna let you
15,
finish.
20 minutes almost nonstop
One of the greatest rants of all time. Of all time. Yep.
all the time.
Yep. Okay. So we had this mentioned earlier. Sega co-founder David Rosen died, age 95. I mean, age 95, but still, I mean, legendary guy. So he led Sega from the 60s into the 90s. He died on Christmas Day. Huge figure in the history of arcade and home gaming. I'd forgotten. I knew about this guy, but I'd forgotten a lot of the details. This is just the Guardian. You can read it pretty much anywhere. But they talked about how um, Sega, acquired the business in Japan. Um, you had Sega of America. You had the Mega Drive, which we know as the Sega Genesis. I always associated Sega with arcade games, but I mean, Sega stands for service games. So originally they made other things. I think it was like playing cards. So, but anyway, it's a nice little article. Just tripped down memory lane. Again, you don't necessarily see these guys behind the scenes or in the offices that, have the vision and make the deals and put the money down. But yeah, a lot of memories there. So, yep,
Man, that helped change the world in the entertainment industry.
yep. And you could say, there's Sega didn't do everything right. They made a lot of mistakes, but man, it certainly gave Nintendo and Atari run for their money. And
It's
they're still
true.
around, and they're still around. And ever since they've been a software company, like I don't get as excited anymore when I see like a Sega logo. I don't immediately think, "Oh, this is going to be amazing." But man, the nostalgia is high for.
I think of it better now than I did in the mid aughts,
Oh
like
yeah.
with like Sonic '06 and shit.
Well, yeah, they
So
definitely had some major missteps there. Yeah.
Yakuza has been a. I think they're starting to get. I think it's starting to be a little much because I'm like 5 games behind now. But like the Yakuza series, like from Zero back in like 2016 to the remakes of the originals from PS2, like Kiwami and stuff, they did a really good job with those games. Some love was put in those games. I think that helps, but I think the corporation is once again trying to say like, let's pump out as many of those Yakuza games as you can. So now we've got like all these Yakuza games, and then you've got the fucking what they call them, like the dragon games. I can't remember what they're
Dragon
called. I
Age.
have one of them. No, it's still Yakuza, but it's not the Kiryu based one. It's Like a Dragon. So you have like 3 Like a Dragon games now. Like, so it's insane. And then they remade Kiwami and Kiwami 2. So they remade them for Switch. There's Kiwami 2, which has a like a legacy edition or some shit. And it's like this Ryu Ga Gotaku Studio is the people who makes these, but their publisher is Sega. So and these guys, I feel like they're getting fucking milked. Like they're just getting stretched as far as they can. Like we just gotta keep the same city saved, and we'll just copy and paste it into the next game. Because I mean, I love going back to that city, but holy shit, man, it's
Becoming like the Mos
like they
Eisley
have a lot of
Cantina.
games out now.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. It's still good. It's still nice. But yeah, it's Camarocho is a great city to revisit. It's just now they've got like a whole bunch of fucking games. Like a Dragon came out, I think, in 2019, and they have like 5 or 6 more games plus 3 spin-offs that have been released in the last 3 years or 5 years. Sorry. So it was since then. I think with more coming along. So it's definitely their cash cow now.
Yeah.
Besides Sonic.
Sonic. Sega. So another topic here we got that just the hits keep on coming. Limited run games. You probably heard of them. They're a company that I had a lot of
Well,
respect for because they were bringing stuff back. You got certain games that are out of print for a while, bringing in that physical
yeah.
media, or it's too expensive to collect. Like I got Night Trap from them on disc. I wanted it. I wanted it since the
Night Trap.
Sega CD games. Yeah, so we had a great time playing it on the Halloween stream for our Boo Fest. But yeah, it's like they've been having some controversies, and it just seems like they just can't get away from it. So here's one of the recent articles. I hadn't heard about this. Um,
Yeah.
multi-million dollar
So
lawsuit. Yeah.
does anybody in our chat
Big deal.
know what Shantae is? The game Shantae?
Oh, that's another
This
one.
might be
Yep.
this might be a little bit after a lot of our viewers. But it's something I grew up with. I didn't play it,
Let's do the Shantae one
but
first. Yeah.
I know somebody who did. And yeah, limited run remade Shantae Advance. which was Risky Revolution, by the way. And you can go ahead and read this article if you want, or I can. I've got the article up, so it's up to
Yeah.
you.
This is CBR.com. So I've never played this game, but I mean the general principle of wanting to get a quality product, like, hey, I didn't get a chance to own this game, or it's
You pay for it too.
you paid top dollar for it. I mean, these they really are limited run. So if you miss it, like it becomes a collector's item immediately. Um, you're expecting top quality. Well, guess what? Go ahead, you can read it. Got
Okay.
him.
And I'll quote it here from timeextension.com. I'll start with the top paragraph and quote, physical publisher limited run games come under fire for allegedly using recycled chips in one of its latest releases, Shantae Advance Risky Revolution on the Game Boy Advance. The game, which was originally supposed to launch last year, was delayed, set between the original Shantae and Risky's Revenge. Development began back in 2002, was canceled a couple years later. The project was revived in 2023 with limited run being confirmed as the distributor, which makes this even more kind of a shot in the chest.
Yeah.
In reality, Retrobit Gaming, another company, was operating in the same space, recently come under fire for improperly sourcing its translations, was responsible for manufacturing the physical cartridges, and it claims that reports of cosmetic blemishes and imperfections only impact a small number of carts. As reported by a video game Esoterica, owners of the newly released cart have found that it contains what appear to be pulled chips, basically chips which have been removed from other products and reused in Shantae Advanced Risky Revolution's cartridge. This tweet and or post comes from user Danthrax, quotes, "We just got our copy of Shantae Advance Risky Revolution today, and at Pudgy Bunny opened it up. What the fuck? These chips look awful. The one on the left is discolored. They look all dusty and scuffed. Is this even safe to play on our GBA?" And I will go ahead and share this here on the screen.
Yeah.
Let me full screen it too. Is this even safe to play on our GBA? Tagging Way Forward, which is the developer, Retro Gaming Video Games, Shantae. Another person, Velocosmos, also states, "I decided Shantae Risky's Revolution is not safe to play on my Game Boy Advance or DS. I will be playing with my EverDrive instead. The board's scuffed up, dirty chips is a new low." LimitedRunGames.com. Did y'all pull these out of a crusty bucket of scavenged chips and screws? We paid $60 for a $5 bootleg. And as you can tell, those chips look fucking awful. So,
Yeah. This is the AliExpress.
especially the one on the bottom.
Yeah.
I mean, the board looks fine. It's the chips look really fucking bad.
Like they couldn't bother.
Especially
just to
this
take
one on
like
the bottom.
like a damp cloth or just run it over it one time. Yeah.
I mean, that wouldn't have saved this one. This one looks like it went through the fucking wood chipper.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I mean, I'm surprised if this one would even work.
Well, and that's the thing.
Shorted chips can be bad.
You've
Can
got
be really bad.
You've got a vintage console, or you've got one of these like expensive, repro consoles, and it's like you're gonna jam this in there, and it's like, yeah, our piece is gonna fall off. Is it gonna the voltage gonna be wrong? Is it gonna
Well, it
damage?
could short your console.
Yeah.
If it's bad, yeah.
Really.
As quoted here.
And I liked Retro
by the source
Bit.
Time
I bought a lot of their
Extension.
products, and that really sucks to hear that.
Well, hold on, there's more.
Oh, but wait,
Recycling
there's
chips
more.
isn't a new thing. It's quite a common practice in China and can result in components being obtained for much lower prices than buying new ones. However, as noted by video game Esoterica, the chips presented in Shantae Advanced Risky Revolution are still being produced and can be purchased in bulk for commercial releases. Given that the game retails for $60, some customers have voiced their frustration that new chips weren't used. Retrobit has issued their own statement on the matter, quoting Retrobit here, regarding Shantae Advanced Risky Revolution that we produced for WayForward and limited run games, there have been claims that customer received a PCBA that had cosmetic blemishes. Please rest assured that the cartridges are all built to spec and durable.
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't think
I get
so,
it.
but
I get it that cartridges are expensive, but don't lie to your customers. Like be upfront. Like, hey, we're using recycled stuff. It's great. We dumpster dive these.
wait a second. Aside
Just
from
don't.
imperfections found on a small number of boards, we thoroughly tested through various phases of manufacturing and can confirm this does not affect the gameplay and that the product is built to last. It's chips on a board. I mean, granted, they are built to last, but at the same time, you if one shorts somewhere down the line from excessive play because it's not soldered on correctly or it's damaged,
Yep.
somebody's going to lose a handheld. I mean, granted, I'll say it this way. I mean, at the end of the day, buyer beware, right? If you're buying this as a collector's item, buy it as a collector's item. It's $60. I hate to say that, but
They'll replace your cartridge. They
it,
won't replace your advance that just got fried from their crappy cartridge.
yeah, I'm gonna say it's one of those things that like you're kind of you're in the day of um, classic console gaming that it kind of appealed to both sides here. I'm gonna close out my stream here real quick so I can bring myself back up. But I kind of appeal to both sides here because at the same time, the GBA hasn't really been in support for quite a while now. And this is being made by Limited Run for mostly so people can relive a game that hasn't been, I don't even think was even in existence. So if you want to play Risky Revolution, play it. But at the same time, people don't want to lose their hardware.
Yep.
So because that stuff's not cheap anymore. It's not even almost not even feasible anymore. There's a company that makes Game Boys that remakes Game Boys, but they're fucking expensive. And they put like the backlights and stuff into them and everything.
Nice.
So I would say buyer beware when it comes to stuff like this.
Yeah.
Remember that you're buying these. I would say when you're buying limited run stuff, at least when I always looked at stuff from limited run, it was like I'm buying this to put it on my shelf.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, it's.
Oh, I lost you for a second there. Your audio.
Yeah, I moved my mic. Can you still hear me?
Yeah. You like
Okay.
limited run games?
For me,
Put the stuff on your shelf. Collector's item.
yeah, for me, it's to. I'm not saying that it shouldn't be playable, and that you as a consumer, because I always stand by the consumer, you should have the right to have it played. At the same time, this is a company that's trying to revive hardware that's 20 years old.
Yeah.
So, maybe working with what they have. I do not support, however, them using scraps.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Or screwing over their customers
I don't.
in other ways, which they've
Yeah,
also
we're screwing over their customers. This could have been something a little cheaper, maybe like $40.
Yeah.
But because I bet you these boards were not that expensive to make, and the plastic probably not expensive to make. You're still paying for the fact that these are Game Boy Advance games, and it's probably a limited run release. You're paying for hype. You're paying for FOMO. So that's what I would be pissed off at. You guys could have taken a hit on this and probably been fine. Like $40, still making money. Keep in mind, these replicas were made with recycled chips. Play at your own risk. I'd be honest with your customer at this point. I think the fact they didn't mention this is because you're going to lose money. Nobody's going to want to buy. There's a lot of know-it-alls out there. And I say this, know-it-alls, because a lot of people probably bought these and goes, well, I'm not putting that in my Game Boy. It's going to break it. And it's probably not. It's just the fact that you paid $60 for something. You expect it to be
Yeah.
built nicely and to look nice and to play nice. And
Yeah.
it probably does two of those three things, which
Yeah.
is the soldering looks good and it probably plays. So
Well, it's
those chips just do not look great.
it makes me think of like the NECA action figures. Like the NECA action figures were heavily criticized a few years ago because they look awesome, they look great in the box. A lot of people never take them out of the box, and it's fine for that. But you're paying top dollar, you take it out of the box, and the thing falls apart and it breaks, and it's just like what the hell. But this is kind of worse because yeah, if it is going to damage your vintage hardware, then it was not worth it, just because you wanted to
No,
fire up this game and you paid all this, and yeah, they're not going to replace your Game Boy for you. They could replace the cartridge, but it's too late. The damage is done.
but at the same time, this has been told. Um, so Josh Fairhurst, this was Limited Run Games. I guess is this the CEO or somebody? It just says we approached Limited Run Games' Josh Fairhurst for the comment, and this is what he stated, right? And um, I guess you and I can both give our comment on this because, like I said,
Oh,
I just state what he said here first. But he said, my understanding is that this is the largest run of new GBA games in over 15 years, 20,000 units, and to pull it off, Retrobit had to source a lot of new old stock FRAM chips that are no longer widely manufactured. Due to the amount needed and the decades that they have been in storage, there's a wide variance in the visual aesthetic of the chips. This does not impact the function of the chips, and Retrobit has assured us that customers will have no issues with their cartridges. The cartridges have been tested across a wide variety of hardware. Game Boy Advance, SP, Micro, DS, DS Lite, GameCube Player, and Analog Pocket. I do not believe that. I believe they've been tested, but I have a hard time believing that they tested all of those platforms at once. Could be wrong. Could be wrong. This is limited run, right? So they probably have access to that hardware. But to have a thorough test of all of those is insane.
yeah, it seems a little
So
far fetched.
that's
You've,
that's
you've,
just me. But
yeah.
across the board, we have had no issues with the operability or function of the cartridges. We have played through the game front to back at both LRG and WayForward hundreds of times. Customers will not have any issues playing or enjoying their cartridges for decades to come. So, okay. That all said, it's unfortunate that this is distracted from what was otherwise a great story. We provided WayForward with over $1 million to revive the Shantae project that has been abandoned, allowing them to finally finish this lost chapter in her saga. Yeah, because this was a game that didn't get released.
Ah,
No other publisher in the last 25 years was willing to provide this funding, and this game honestly would not exist if we had not been willing to take the risk on it. The final game is absolutely amazing. I believe that if it had launched during GBA's lifespan, it would have been remembered as one of the best games on the platform. I'm honored to have been able to help bring this thing to life and hope the legacy of this project is focused on the story around the game, how it came to be, and how incredible it ended up being. I'm going to let you comment first because I've ran my mouth way too long. So go ahead and comment first. You go ahead.
I appreciate it because I am getting over a cold and I don't have the Macho Man Randy Savage voice to do every single one of these.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
limited run games, yeah. Screwing over customers using recycled chips, yeah. Not the cream of the crop, not at all. Shenanigans. You're hot dogging.
Yeah, dogging it.
Oh, that was not wise. Okay, yeah. So there's another article in here about lawsuit.
Okay.
Wow. I was kidding around, but yeah. Okay, so we got a $2.7 million lawsuit alleging that the Video Privacy Protection Act has been violated. It's a class action. Apparently, they've been sharing customer data with Meta without consent.
You all right? Oh,
I killed him.
no.
I killed
Oh,
him. You dig it.
okay. Yeah, I'll let you get some cough drops in before we go on, because this is the same. This has to do with limited run, right?
Yes.
Okay. 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 Sorry.
You killed him.
Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know why I did that. I love doing the Macho Man voice, and it's bad enough in the wintertime, but yeah, when you get getting
All
over a
right.
cold,
So
not 100%.
so I need to keep my chat up because
All right, there's the article right there. If you want a
I mean
chance to
I
take a look. This is
yeah.
just
Let me
more
keep the chat up.
company practices.
Okay. So before I get into that, I'll finalize this here.
Mhm.
Um, with Josh Fairhurst's comment, I agree that limited run I think puts a lot of money into their stuff. Um, however, I think a lot of this is kind of like what do they call that? Like filibustering or putting away from
Yeah,
the real issue. I do believe they test their games. So if every game came out of there, because they probably do have the time to test and play them. I don't know if they play them front to back, like every copy, but I do think that these guys have the time to actually get the chance to play them, and I do think they do have the time to test them. So whether that be on some of these platforms, but maybe not all of them, but spending that much money and trying to get the project revived, that's a lot of money for 20,000 units. Um, I can't imagine that that's what this took, unless it was like a licensing thing. So, but I'm not an expert. Anyway, at the end of the day, congrats on them for getting this at least out there. So you have a copy of Shantae, a physical copy that you can play and own if you want to complete the series
yeah,
for yourself. And if you
yeah,
have the rest of those copies, then that's something that, to everybody out there that's being maybe a little bit too crazy about it, you would have never had. At the end of the day, that's something that you can mark off your bucket list. I have the full Shantae series now. It was almost never going to happen. Limited Run did it. So quit your little millennial griping and fucking accept the fact that you actually have a full collection, because it's never happening. You're not getting another copy.
yeah,
However, I think LRG needs to take some accountability because they were not honest or truthful releasing the game in the condition it was, and they have a history of releasing games in better quality. That's it.
yeah,
You sent me this link here, and this link comes from our friends at CBR.com.
yeah. I got them switched around. Time extension was the first one, like you said, and then now we got CBR. So yeah, go for it.
So CBR.com, limited games or limited run games was hit with a $2.7 million lawsuit. This is by John Dodge, published on December 23rd last year. They're being taken to court in a particularly unsettling video game class action lawsuit, quoting, as noted by Gaming and Industry News account Nobelbrot on Twitter. Sorry if I got that wrong. Limited Run Games is being sued for $2.7 million for reportedly violating the Video Privacy Protection Act. Allegedly, Limited Run Games illegally shared customer data with Meta without consent. Meta has a history of grabbing information without checking to see if it's a viable source, without consent, even grabbing explicit content for their own use. So I'm not surprised. Continuing here, the lawsuit itself filed as Carbone at al
At
versus
all.
Limited Run Games at all
Yeah.
versus Limited Run Games Inc. in the United States District Court, Eastern District of New York, alleges that defendant Limited Run Games Inc. discloses its subscribers personally identifiable information to Meta platforms.
Great. So they
and
got
or other third parties.
all my data. Dang
Like, what data do you have though? You're not linked to any social media. You are a ghost.
it.
So great, they
Right.
have your first and last name.
Yep.
Like, do you know how many millions of people around the globe
Right. But
have your
still,
first and last name?
yeah. But most
That,
people
that,
share a lot more stuff than that.
do you have it? You don't have any other accounts that are linked with limited run, and unless you're one of those guys who use the same password over and over again, you should be
Right.
fine.
I bought a few of their products. Yeah. And I guess
Okay,
I
so
guess
like maybe
I'm
they have
on.
your credit card. That might be an issue. But
Yeah,
like
true.
it'd be like different with like somebody who has like a bagillion social networking accounts and they gave them their social or
But
something.
it's the
Hopefully you
principle.
didn't give.
Yeah, it's the principle that they said they wouldn't do it and then they did it. They lied.
Oh,
And the law said don't do it and they
okay.
did it.
So
Yeah.
we're angry because yes, it's a privacy violation.
Yeah.
The VPPA defines uh, to include information which identifies a person as having requested or obtained specific video materials or services from a videotape service provider. Defendant denies that it engaged in any wrongdoing or that it violated any law, and the court has not decided who is right. The parties have agreed to settle the lawsuit, of course they did, to avoid uncertainties and expenses because they didn't want to fucking pay any more money.
Yep.
The class in this suit includes any person in the United States who, from January 1st, 2016, and through June 20th, 2025, watched a pre-recorded video through limited run game service and purchased video game containing cutscenes from limited run game service. Persons included in the settlement will be eligible to receive a pro rata, meaning equal, cash payment of up to $2,720,000. Settlement fund that will also pay out the settlement and administration expenses, attorneys' fees, costs, and incentive rewards. Okay. I'm just gonna say it right now. Everything I just said about limited run, I take back.
Dang.
I mean, yeah, they do good work, but why do they need my information to sell to Meta? Fuck Meta. At the end of the day, I don't have Facebook. I don't want Facebook because Meta sells it to other people. So you're part of the problem. Just letting you know, just because you sell your information to somebody who you think is a tried service and you feel like you're not doing any wrong, sorry, I gave your name to a hitman. I'm not killing you, but you're still doing a bad deed.
Yep.
So at the end of the day, I really think that we need a regulation on data gathering, because it has become currency. Like my name, my all my information, who I am, where I live, the accounts that I have is worth something to somebody, no matter what it is, because it means that they can trigger ads to me and stuff. It's fucking dystopian and it's stupid. It's normally stupid. And I feel like I have enough common sense to avoid a lot of it, but there's so many people that live their lives day to day, not paying attention. They literally live by the New York minute. And they don't fucking pay attention, or they don't care because they think everything's regulated for them. Like their dinner is made for them practically by our government. Like it'll be fine. They can't do anything bad. I mean, the phone calls that you get constantly is because they're selling your shit to other people. And that stuff goes overseas.
Yep.
So like that's not me being a tinfoil hat. That's the truth. If you bought a car recently here in the United States, you're going to get at least 50 phone calls about your car's extended warranty. You know what? The reason I got those calls is still because I bought a car recently. I haven't gotten them anymore, but they were about the wrong car because I don't give my data away to anybody.
Yeah.
And the last time somebody scraped me was like back when I had 3 cars ago.
Yeah.
So they kept calling me about the wrong car. I was like, sorry, I don't have a car. And I just hang up. Like,
It's funny. Yeah, it's like when they do the phishing scam, but it's like it's a bank that you don't actually have. It's like, but
it's correct.
yeah, always verify.
I just speak to them in
Always
Spanish or something. I was like, hey, no habla inglés. And I just hang up, Like, I don't know. I like to fuck with them a little bit.
talk to them in Huttese. Yeah.
Or I've got that's something you use AI for. Like, use AI to speak to them back in their own language.
That'd be funny.
And stuff like that. Like, it's one of those things where, yes, it's something where you just fuck with people. But yeah, I don't. I they're too small of a business to be doing shit like this to make that extra money. So I'm gonna say this: limited run, whoever the fuck you run by, Josh Fairfield or whatever the fuck his name is, better watch yourself, because at the end of the day, that's not going to be a good look for you. I think your clientele is too small to not give a fuck. There are going to be people like, I'm not going to touch your shit because every time I get into an account, you guys are going to sell my stuff to Meta. And then there's going to be people who will be like, well, I have Facebook, so it doesn't matter. Well, yeah, okay, then that's fine. But like, a lot of the people that you're supplying to care about physical media. And you need to be analyzing those trends. A lot of the people that care about physical media don't want to go digital. They don't like to be on the internet that often. Or maybe
Thanks for speaking for me.
They have certain like isms, like me. Yeah, your name is not Bob, and I'm not your buddy. Call someone else. Yeah. So
he also said dirty deeds done dirt cheap. Yeah. Yeah.
That's correct. So
dirty deeds.
It's one of those things where everybody in the world right now is in a hustle culture. If they can sell it and if they can make money off of it, and they don't have to look at you directly or know who you are by like getting to know you, you're a number. Everything that's written on paper is sellable. Like it doesn't matter.
If it's free, you're paying for it with data.
So
you
meaning
are
that
the
like
product.
I know who you are, but like at the end of the day, if I don't have to like get the stuff from you actually, and all you have to do is click it and send that stuff to me, I don't have to look through your data. I just have to sell it. You're a number to me. You're visitor number 54 on my website that just made an account, and now that stuff goes to Meta. I just made money.
Yep.
And I don't have to know the consequences.
Yeah.
Because it's my hustle. That's my hustle. So.
Frozen.
Yeah, it's all right. I'll fix it. There we go.
Shout out to John Cena, retirement. Can't see us. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. Some people just want to make as much money as they can. They can be relaxed. It's fine. I'm good with making the money I'm making now. And that's why, like I said before, all those, it kind of brings me to a topic I wanted to talk about before, is like, I've kind of like abandoned the respect for a lot of like big creators, because at the end of the day, I understand that's your job, but they sheepishly, I don't know how to say it, like a puppet, they follow every fucking rule that's given to them. Like, oh, you have to have these ads this way, and then you have to they have to have a sponsor. So every time I go to like watch something, it's like, oh, we're sponsored by Fume. And like, what the fuck is Fume? Oh, it's smokable air. What?
Yeah.
Like to get you off of like vaping? Like, or Magic Spoon, the cereal, I don't even know where to buy it from. But it's like a weird fucking cereal that reminds you of Saturday morning cartoons. Like all these like scam sponsors.
Yeah. It's not even the skit from Wayne's World. Oh, these sponsorships are making me a headache, Wayne.
And then I have like at least 3 or 4 ads in my YouTube videos, and that's why I totally skip them. And then you get those people who are like, why could you please don't skip my ads? That's how I make money. Well, okay, go get a job or like find something else.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. Maybe that's disrespectful. I've probably been too aggravated in the past year or two to give a shit. But like I've been looked on as the guy who isn't hustling, so like it's like I get looked on as the peon, right? Well, like I do this because I like to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we like to do this.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna ask. I changed my stream. If you go back to my channel, my backdrop is done. I put everything back to the way I had it when I first started. So I don't have any links to Patreon. I don't have any links to donations. All that stuff's gone. I don't care about that. Like, I can't tell people not to donate, but I'm not going to encourage people to give me money. Streaming is fun. If I ever go back to it full time, I'm still not going to tell people to donate to me. I don't think I ever will go back to it full time. I have too many kids. But at the end of the day, if I like had a stretch where I was streaming all the time, there's not there's not going to be anything in the world that's going to encourage me. I could get 500,000 people on my stream, and they're all like, "Oh, we want to give you money." I'd be like, "No,
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't.
I take
I'm happy with what I got."
I let people subscribe to HeroQuest fans. I mean, I do that, but yeah, I don't
That's fine. Don't let me I'm not like disrespecting. I'm not trying to disrespect people. It's more like
full
the big
transparency.
guys,
Yeah.
like the real big guys.
Yeah,
Like,
and I don't do it as a job. I mean, I couldn't. I have a real job. I have a 9 to 5 type of thing, and yeah, it's just it's not even a side hustle because like what I make $50 a month or something like that. It's like okay, I guess that
yeah.
would pay for my Xbox subscription that I shouldn't have.
Well, yeah, and
But
even
yeah,
at the end of the day, like
maybe.
I still have to some respect for them because like some people do have had it as a job for a long time, but like it's such an oversaturated
Yeah.
like market
This idea that
that
yeah,
like
you need to screw people over and yeah, just get yours and it's like
it's
very
or just the parasocialness. Like
yeah.
people like to have the attention.
Oh, you
Like
like
there's a
me?
guy that
Give me your cash. Like yeah, it's
yeah,
gross.
there's a guy I listen to who does art. He's like an artwork guy, Meat Canyon or whatever.
Oh
He does
yeah.
that artwork. He's a good artist, right? But he
Hmm.
has like three other different
Banned.
channels,
Banned.
and I can't fucking stand the fact that like because it's so copy like cookie cutter and everybody like likes the guy and like I was like look this is why you don't like your idols. I respect the guy's an artist. He's a talented artist, but and I agree with him on some things. But this is why you don't ever get to know anybody on that level because you are totally like you're on a different level
Yep.
and it's like one of those things where we have these parasocial relationships with these people because you either watch them every day or you think that you will relate to them. But these people make so much fucking money
Yeah.
and they are on they believe they're on another level.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's weird. To me, YouTube is the same platform it was to me 20 years ago. And it's not. I realize that. But like
Just people making
when you put
content.
content out,
Yeah.
it's meant because like you want to entertain people. A
Yeah.
lot of people get on there and they're expecting a money. They want something back for the time they're giving.
You're
I
a,
don't expect anything back for
you're a,
this.
you're a,
This is for you guys.
you're a street
That's it.
performer but without the tin cup to catch the coins.
Well, it's not even that. Anybody can sit in a chair and talk.
Yeah.
Like
You don't need money
that's
for
not
that.
talent.
Yeah.
Like a podcast to me has never been it's two guys talking about what they hate. And if you if you hate with us, come and join us.
Yeah.
Talk, build a community.
Let the
That's what I
hate
wanted
flow
to do
through
is
you.
build discussion. And like that was it. Build the community, get a community growing.
Hmm.
That was it. That's all I've ever asked for that. But like if I went out into the street and like was like put a drum set out and there was like Neil Peart like yeah maybe I'd probably ask for some money but like fuck I'd put like a little tin cup out there
But you're saying
like
those guys are at least putting themselves out there. They're doing hard
yeah
work.
because they're putting in time like work like I
Yeah.
mean they're putting in some time and like I said the big creators who like do music and
Yeah.
they put in big productions like I said Meat Canyon
I'm
like he gets paid in donations and shit but
yeah.
like the guy actually draws
I'm
like he actually does work.
sacrificing
Fucking
yeah,
camera's being weird.
I'm sacrificing a few hours of sleep, but I mean, it would be like I'm either doing this or I'm playing my Xbox or I'm watching a movie and nobody sees it.
And like I said,
Just we're
with
having a
you,
discussion, playing
you're
a game.
donating time and you're putting effort and you're setting up a game. Like
Yeah.
to me, that could be worth something. Depends on you. To me, I'm sitting on my ass. I'm playing video games.
Yeah.
I don't consider that. But like I said, it's all to me. It's all like what my self value is. But there are people that are out there that do like reactions, or they sit in a fucking hot tub, or they show off their personal talents. You know, and
Yeah.
like none of that to me is worth any of that.
Right.
What's up, Chael? How you doing?
It's chill, bro.
And I'm to me it's the worth of your time. Like,
Yeah,
are you giving back to the community with the same effort as you want them to give to you?
yeah.
I don't expect
We're not
like
demanding
a
your.
bunch of money
You don't.
because I don't give that. I don't give that effort
Yeah.
to the
You
community.
don't owe us your money.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when I say us, I mean like yeah, content creators. Yep. It's this sense of
Don't give it to
entitlement.
them either.
It's a sense of entitlement that is off-putting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
if they
just
say, "Oh man,
kills their ego.
I can't make a living unless you pay me all this money." Like first of all, that's not true. Second of all, yeah, you could get a real job like we do. I mean, we both have real jobs.
I mean, there are levels of that area that can be real jobs, but like what I'm saying is like go. You can build a career that's not just YouTube or Twitch.
Yeah,
Like these people have to hook themselves to 7 different social media sites and stuff in order to make real dough. And like at the end of the day, you
and
could
sell out.
go and be an actual visual effects artist or
Yeah.
and like I said, there are some people who get into streaming because their careers took a dive, because there isn't enough or not enough pay. And for that I can understand. Like I said, this is all subjective and it's all situational. I'm not giving out a black and white like statement here, like I fucking hate all like it's like one of those things that like came to my mind was I don't have a parasocial relationship with any major creator anymore because at the end of the day, you don't fucking know them. And that's something that's really big nowadays is that people relate and they go, "Oh, here's $10." I'm like,
Thanks,
why?
buddy.
What are you giving that? Like, please before you donate, I could say a million trigger words that could get you to give me $10. But at the end of the day, why are you giving the $10? Is it because their content's good or is it because you relate to them? Because at the end of the day,
He said
I
my
don't want
name on
anybody
the
to give me
stream.
money just because I said something that makes you go, "Oh, I agree with you. Here's some money."
Yeah,
Like, no, I don't do that in public. I don't make friends with people who go, "Oh, yeah, that's a good point. My camera is acting up now. I don't like that."
yeah.
But I would say, "Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Here's $50."
For stroking
Like,
my ego. Yeah,
yeah, like, fuck, man. And you don't even know if he's telling the truth. He or
yeah.
she would be telling the truth. They could be just fucking saying whatever feels good to the
Hmm.
chat in the moment.
Yep, it's true. Yeah, yep. So don't give us money.
No, don't.
No. And even for my stream, like, I mean, if you just told more people about HeroQuest fans, or if it inspires you to do your own uh, channel or play your own game, like that makes me happy. Like, as opposed to, yeah, you need to hand me some bits. You need to sub. It's like,
Give me your bits. Give me your
give me
bits.
your bits now.
Let me see your bits.
I can't try to do the voices. It's not gonna work. I'm gonna have a hangover.
Your throat.
It's gonna be
It's a little
raw, a
dry.
little parched.
Let me get you some water.
Some water.
Your throat's dry.
Yep,
Get you some water.
yep. Oh man, I got all kinds of leftovers in my fridge. I'm out of eggnog, but I've got pumpkin pie left. I got some stuffing. Um, I'm kind of getting hungry. Can eat some of that
Really?
stuff and pass out. Yeah.
Shit.
Yep. New Year's resolutions. You still
Ah,
got a few days to start those. Yep. Get the dad bod.
my stomach is already, yeah, I'm already rebuilding that. I haven't had a gut, like true gut in quite a minute. Like,
Yeah.
usually I keep it, I'm getting beefy because of all the crap I've been eating.
Yep.
Um,
Ooh, here we go.
Orticon, I can't stand it when they say their car needs repairs or that this is their last stream due to personal health. And they're back again. You're talking about lol cows.
They're back every day
I
asking
wonder
and begging. It's sickening. I need a new camera. I need a new microphone. Blah blah blah.
who you watching, Orticon?
Yeah.
Who you watching that's doing that? Because I bet you it's a lol cow.
Wow, cows. Wow.
Please don't say Wings of Redemption. Don't say Wings of Redemption.
Yeah, who is it, Wordicon? Name the names. Spill the
Don't say
tea.
Can't take it anymore. Just want to stream.
Rob's tabletop goes on about health. Oh,
Oh shit.
dang.
Well, I
I
mean,
mean,
that's unfortunate.
it could be true, but it also could be used as manipulation. And if that's what's happening, I don't know the guy. That's
Or they
gross.
get too personal with their audience. Like I said,
Overshared.
sometimes it's true, like they have stuff going on. But that's what I'm saying is like a lot of those people who start getting big and they don't know how to handle it. They have
Ooh.
personal shit going on in their
Wait a
lives. They
minute.
feel like they have to be committed.
Is he calling out Amalgam Ash? Ash always needs
Oh
needs something.
shit.
Dang, dang, shots fired. I didn't know
Uh-oh.
that.
I mean, he has been getting big too,
Yeah, he has been.
Malgamash.
Yeah, Ash
So
West.
I remember when he was this big, left us in the dust.
Well, I
I
can't vouch.
really, I
I can't vouch for him.
really, really disliked that interview I did because I was sicker than shit. I think when we did that interview with him,
Oh
and I
man.
was late. It was so bad, and I felt so unprepared. That was the one rant cast I wanted to be ultimately prepared for. That was back when we were like Monday. We did like an hour or two of actual prep time.
Yep.
We wrote shit down, and then I got horribly ill. And you were like, "Are you still down?" I was like, "Oh, yeah, I can't miss it." Like
Yeah.
he's given time, and I don't want to tell him no like last second. So I got up and I was like, it's like
See, usually I'm the one losing my voice, but yeah, I still had a great time doing those. Those were
I
fun.
hope he enjoyed it because like he just feel like I felt like he was like weirded out at first. Like, are you sure you were ready for this?
You
Like,
sure about that?
man,
You
I
sure?
always am so critical of myself too. Like when it's just you and I, like we just vibe on a podcast. And that's what this is supposed to be. But like
Yep.
when we have like actual guests, and I'm
Yeah.
not talking about like anybody's an actual guest. So I'm not just talking about like Amalgam Ash, but like an actual guest. I like to have shit lined up.
Yeah.
And like Kurgan will tell you all the time. Like when we first started this, I was like drill sergeant. I was like, we gotta talk Monday, and then Thursday
Yep.
we will be ready, and I will be on at 8:50, and we will be live by 9. And I was like,
It's
I
good.
was
It's good to have a
uptight.
plan. It's good to have a plan. But yeah,
Yeah,
we've definitely relaxed a lot since then. Because
yeah,
I mean, sometimes it's out of necessity. Just stuff happens. Like hardware isn't working, internet's down, kids are sick. I mean, just stuff happens, right? Life happens, and we just have to do it. Wordicon says he did live streams for a new camera for Gen Con. Get it, but he left Patreon, etc. I appreciate the honesty, but I'm not supporting the channel in that way. I still watch. Interesting. Well,
see,
that's the Gen Con where we couldn't do any interviews. So if he bought a new camera and brought it, that really sucks for him because if I remember what you're talking about, like we met him, got to see him, and he had this big like stand, like he was prepared, that guy. Um, and you see him, he's talking to Doug Hopkins and he's like all excited. And I was feeling jealous for a second. I'm like, wait a minute, you gave him an interview? But then it cuts. He's like, let's go back and talk. Cut. I'm like, oh, dang, dang. So, well, anyway, I mean,
yeah,
it's a
I
different
think that
model.
like
He has a
he
whole
really
different,
tries to push the boundaries sometimes, but at the end of the day, I think he does a good job. Um,
yeah. He's a great guy, don't get me wrong. Well, yeah, I'm not throwing any shade at him. I was wondering what you were referring to. I mean, everybody has their own hustle going. A lot of these guys do have Patreons or they have, yeah, donation models. I mean, Ash had his whole before the HeroQuest thing came back, like he was doing those gamer jams. Like he had his own system
yeah, I liked
going.
his Let's Plays. His Let's Plays were
Yeah,
nice.
Let's Plays.
He did like a Markiplier game, I think, for like the longest time.
Yeah.
I think that was the first thing I watched his. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I liked him. I think that Patreon is fine. Like I said, I opened a Patreon, did my Patreon, and then I did
I
a
thought
thing where
about
I
it.
was like, hey, you could donate anything because all it's going to do is it's going to go to the stream. So if I needed a new mic at one point in time or a new camera or something, That's where it'll go to. It'll go to new hardware, monitor setup, whatever. I still use my own funds to buy that stuff,
Yeah.
but it goes into an account. Like I had somebody donate to me. I pull out of Twitch and I throw it into an account for streams. That's it.
Yeah.
And I pull that money out when I saved up enough and I bought the camera. And that was it. Like
Yeah.
I don't. And then I
Well,
just got more kids, and I was like, yeah.
well, but I think in Watercon's example, so okay, taking what you say at face value because I've not investigated it. So he wants a camera for Gen Con because he's going to be reporting, making content with that. So he does a stream, hoping to get
Doesn't he have
donations.
a YouTube silver button now?
Oh, I don't know.
Doesn't he make money on YouTube and stuff?
Well, his videos say like the road to 10,000 subs. So I don't. Is it
Oh
10,000 or 100,000 where you get that?
no, it's 100,000 for the silver button. So he
So he's
doesn't.
not
Yeah,
there
he
yet.
still doesn't have.
No,
No,
he's
but
working
like
on it.
still, if he's
Good luck
like
to him.
buying like a DSLR camera and shit, like I feel like he's got money, or at least he's getting money somewhere.
Sure. Well,
I mean, not
my
to like talk about the guy like he's not here, but like that's what I'm
gonna
saying is
show up
like,
Ash in a steel cage. Well, but my point is,
fuck.
but what we were just talking about. Okay, so he's doing it for hardware that's going to enhance the product that he makes, which is the stream, as opposed to the other example of somebody saying, "Oh man, my health is failing." I mean, I guess you're the product, but it's like you're trying to guilt trip people into like giving you money to like buy groceries or pay for your meds or something. I mean, true or not, that seems much more manipulative versus just, oh yeah, the money you
Yeah.
give me goes into making the channel better. Like, okay,
I do not, and do not encourage anybody hustling their audience for anything. Like it's you guys personally, as the audience, have a right to donate or not donate
yeah,
when we are, what do they call them? When we reach,
um,
what's the word for Twitch?
oh, yeah. Why can't I even think of it? Like my brain is broken.
Fucking partner and something else.
Uh, yeah, whatever we are.
Yeah, when we reach
This is how much we care about it. Clearly,
yeah, because I stopped caring about it, but when we reach like partner and friend of Twitch, whatever they call that.
friend of Twitch. Funny.
But like when we start like being able to take those donations, we're not going to ask for them.
Affiliate.
And it's not going to be an open thing.
Ah,
Affiliate, yeah.
can't
So
believe I couldn't
when
think
you
of it.
get to that, that's always been my thing, right? I understand that the business model for this is to put it out there because not everybody thinks mentally that they should donate. To me, that's ethical. That's ethics. In business, your main thing is to provide a service. If somebody enjoys your service enough, they'll give money, right? You're technically a street performer when you're on this platform.
Yeah,
If you're giving what you get back, if you're giving enough, you'll get back most of the time.
yeah,
I don't think that's the way it is anymore, but that's why I've just stopped caring about it because to me it's just enjoyable to do. I like talking with people.
yeah.
I like
Same.
doing the podcast. So at the end of the day, it doesn't particularly matter. But if somebody's like, oh, I'm not feeling great today, guys. My anxiety's at like a 10. I don't know if I can pay rent. Anything helps. But donation goes up here. We need to reach that by the end of the night. Like, no. Why are you relying on everybody else to do your job?
Yep.
Like
Don't
at the end of the
anybody.
day, if you're crying to people for money, the street corners out there, like you might as well just be a panhandler or go get a job.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I personally have never understood it. I've had panic attacks. I've had issues with my health that have had made getting out of bed really hard, right? But I still get out of bed and I still go and do my job. Like, because at the end of the day, this is before I had a big family, I still have to support myself.
Yeah.
I've never had an audience of 1,000 plus people who go, "Oh man, poor baby."
Here's $10.
Like I can't imagine. Yeah, I can't imagine that.
Yeah. Have some self-respect.
Well, I mean, I guess at that point, you just don't need it because you just have people that will just willingly give you money, and I don't understand that, man. That's what you do is you mail me that money. I will mail you a pizza roll, and then on stream, I will light all of that money on fire because that's what you're doing.
Oh man. Yeah.
I'll be like, here, this is all the money you donated. I'll just get my torch and just watch it burn.
Some men just like to watch the boat burn.
Oh, I don't think you're bashing in Morticon. Just, and if you were, at the end of the day, like that's the opinion, right? I don't think you are. I have my positives and negatives about Amalgamash, to be completely true and honest. I like the guy. I think he's a great content creator. I personally think if you want me to bring up a negative, just because I don't think anybody should be afraid of it, but I think he follows the algorithm way too hard. But that's the way he does it. I'm not gonna tell him how to do his job.
Sure.
Because I'm down here and he's up here. Like,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, like, I didn't care and he cared. He put in the work. So, that's where it's at. But still, I think this is how you should do it because I think that serving a smaller community is what these platforms are meant for.
Yeah.
But
It's more
yeah,
more intimate community.
he said, I see that he wants to help reach the level he desires. Afraid that he would start saying things like Rob's Tabletop World. Yeah, so I don't think I ever watched Rob's Tabletop World, but
I'm
I think
auctioning
that's
games.
toxic.
I'm auctioning games to pay for my COVID vaccines or to save to farm. Okay, so I'm not as familiar with Rob's tabletop world.
It doesn't sound like a tabletop world to me. It sounds like his sounds like you're going there to watch him whine.
Yeah. Well, I know that there have been some influencers out there who have been notorious for, I mean, whether they're telling the truth or not, just basically, yeah, just trying to suck money up from people.
And at the end of the day, WorldCon, it's your money.
Yeah.
It's not their money. It's your money. And a lot of creators have a hard time with that. They feel like once you're subscribed, that needs to start funneling in at some point in time. A lot of people push it behind paywalls. They start saying like they're not going to show their face or something, like without you pay and stuff, and people just do it. And like I said, those people, I feel very bad for them. But at the end of the day, this is fine. Public access is what I like to say. We're
Yeah, that's a good
we're here to
comparison.
provide a service.
Yep, public
So
access TV, like back in the day.
I don't think that my shit doesn't stink, which is what a lot of like even mild creators that do that do. Like, I'm not gonna show this unless you pay $10.
I'll take my sock
Like,
off.
come on,
if you
man.
pay enough. It's like,
Yeah,
what am I
show my
watching?
feet.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of those things. Also, I have a big like issue with Twitch too, so that's kind of another reason why I stopped streaming, because Twitch no longer gives a shit about the little guy. So
Yeah.
you have to be on multiple platforms to make a difference anyway.
Yeah. Well,
So
I mean, I'm
and
on
it's really
Twitch and
depressing.
YouTube. Yeah.
It's really depressing because like if you have to do that, to where like if we got on stream every day, we'd probably get more people. If we got on stream every day, and we went.
Don't clip these out, by the way.
Just another shitty day at the Rantcast podcast. NVIDIA's taking all of our GPUs. I don't think I'm gonna be able to afford a new computer.
Oh man.
I need a computer, and we need you guys to donate
Yep.
to our Patreon. I just held up a cardboard sign that said, "Can't afford to live without a computer. Please donate." It would be awful.
Yep. Need
I
RAM,
would hate myself.
G
I would hate
GPU.
myself.
Yeah.
So like I said, that's just personally me though. Like
Yeah.
I'm happy
I'd
with
feel
my family.
I'd feel dirty doing that too.
Happy.
Yeah.
I'm happy with my life.
Yeah.
Happy where I'm at. So, and some people aren't, and I'm sorry that's it. I pray that they get better.
Yeah, man.
Like honestly. So, but yeah, on to a much better topic. Um, I was talking to my wife today, and did you have you ever heard of these online tests? They have like it's something similar to like when you were on Facebook or something like that, and they have like these like what Marvel superhero are you?
Oh man, which Harry Potter character are you?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So this is different because it all runs off TikTok and shit, right? So I was like, I was coming home from my job today, and there was this guy who was talking about online tests and how it's going around, and how it's really fucking weird because it can affect even people in long-lasting relationships. But um, there's like a lady who was like, in order to attract or to tell if your man's actually paying attention to you, it's you walk up to him and you tell him like, "Hey, I saw a bird today," and if he
Oh.
reacts with
Oh
like, "Hey,
man.
what bird?" or something like that, it means that he actually cares about what you have to say. If he doesn't or something, then he's no good. Like it's almost a divorceable offense.
Leaves the
So this
relationship.
lady
Yeah.
walks up and she's like recording him, and he knows she's recording him, so he doesn't take it seriously. She's like, "Hey, I saw a bird today." He goes, "Yeah," and and I'm like, "Yeah, that's what I would say." Like I'd be like, "Okay," because like we're adults. If you walked up to me and said, "Hey, babe, I saw a bird today," I'd be like, okay." like, so it's like there was like comments all over this TikTok post, I guess, that was like, "Oh, sis, he's no good. Like, get rid of him." Like, are you fucking kidding me right now? They could be in like a long term relationship. And if you're letting that influence you, you need some psychological help.
They got divorced for clicks.
Um, so I tried it on my wife because I was like,
Oh, you
I was just
dog.
trying to mess with her. Just trying to
Okay.
mess with her, right? Because I don't take any of this shit seriously. Come on, camera. Come on,
Even
let's
the
work it
camera
out.
doesn't take
Anyway,
it seriously. Yep.
so I went up to my wife because I tried on the opposite. This is how I know this shit doesn't fucking work.
Yep.
I went to my wife. I was like, "Hey, I saw a bird today," and she goes, "Yeah." I was like, "Yeah, I saw a bird today," and she goes, "Okay." She was like, and like she wanted to know more. There needs to be more. It's incredibly vague to say something like that
Yeah.
because like, "Hey, I saw a bird today and it fell out of a tree and died." Like, "Oh fuck, like where's that bird?" Like,
Yeah.
you want to know if there's like juicy drama, or like, "Hey, I saw a bird today and
The
it's
point
not in
is,
its natural habitat. It's a finch. It's fucking wintertime." Like, no, like so like even that like probably something that you wouldn't just mention, but like just the just the fact that so yeah, I saw a bird today too while I was driving. What's your point? Like, and so I totally proved that wrong. There was another one where like this lady, I guess, was a dancer, and she was in the supermarket with her boyfriend or fiance or something, and she tried to do like this psychological test because she's a dancer where she wanted to get him to pay attention to her. So she like broke down and did the splits in the middle of the aisle. And she was like, "That was epic, huh?" He was like, "What? Like, why are you doing that?"
why are you acting weird and recording it?
Yeah, like, and that's what I'm saying is like these people have like this addiction to attention.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
I need validation from other people and not just my significant other because I can't trust my significant other. Like there was another one called like the orange peel test where it's like in order to know if he cares for you or something, you ask him, "Hey, will you peel this orange for me?" And that was the only one I could kind of tell had any sort of meaning. But you still can't define your entire relationship because you could be together with somebody for like 12 years, right? You're married.
mhm.
And you can't define that based on that. Because like I've been with my wife for like 10 years. And I asked her, I was like, "Would you peel my orange for you if I asked it?" And she was, "Yeah." She goes, "You don't have any fingernails." So if you're having trouble peeling it, then yeah.
Yeah.
And
Well, there's
but like
Yeah, go ahead.
But it's like one of those things where, like, if I just picked up an orange and handed it to you and said, hey, will you peel this? She'd probably be like, well, why don't you try to peel it first?
Yeah.
Like, or if my wife just did that, I'd be like, well, don't you have fingernails? Peel it. Try to peel it. Like, it's like one of those things where, like, we've been together for so long, we're not trying to visually impress each other anymore. Like,
Yeah,
it's
you're beyond that.
we love each other already enough that it's, you
You need
know.
to test your relationship.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so like, she like walked up and was like, hey, will you peel this orange for me? He was like, why? You have it in your hand. Why aren't you peeling it? Like, so if you have a phone in your hand and you have this orange, like, hey, will you peel this for me? And she's like recording him. You're not going to take it seriously because you're being recorded.
Right.
Or like, I can't remember what the challenge was called, but it was based off like an actual celebrity. So you can already tell it's fake because the celebrity is being recorded while he was doing it.
Right.
But it's like something where you just walk up, you start dancing with your partner, and to see if you get them to dance back. But it just makes you look like, no offense to anybody, it just makes you look retarded. Like, you just, yeah, are you gonna dance with me? And like, no,
No
what are
music.
you
You're
doing?
just randomly doing it.
Well, like, you can put music on, but like, it still makes you look weird because, like, what are we doing? Did I miss a holiday? Is it your birthday? Is our anniversary? What am I missing?
Yeah.
Like, your mind starts going in different directions and stuff like this. Like any real person, like not Oblivion NPC, any real person would try to break this down before attempting to just go, yeah.
Just go along with it.
Like, I mean, like, I might once, like if we're just really messing around, because I've kind of kind of done this, like walked over to my wife just to mess with her, but like I've never like just out of nowhere schizophrenically broke down like in the dance.
Yeah.
But yeah, see, that's exactly it. Jacer's explaining it very, very well.
Mhm.
15 seconds of fame. But at the end of the day, this is also what influences most young adults, young women, and young men. Is
Sad.
does this prove that your man is committed to you?
Hmm.
And if it's not, you get a whole bunch of validations from a bunch of women. Oh no, no, he's no good. And even when somebody tries to correct it, because this lady started dancing in front of him, and he just like did not pay attention. He was on his phone. He had put the time in with his wife, I guess. And when they were telling him like, "Oh, get rid of him, girl. He's no good. He's not even paying attention to you." That hurts my heart. Hurts my heart. But like at the end of the day, when she tried to redo it, she did another one like a week later, and he was like dancing with her and stuff. She was like, that's no fake.
Yep.
They're both fake.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
So
It's not so much just the video itself, but it's the audience reaction. I think a lot of people would love the fantasy that there's a simple, easy, quick little trick that will figure life out for you. And yes, you do have rage bait too. You have these stupid videos and people make angry comments, and it's like that gives them uh, the attention or the data or the money that they crave as well. Bohemius
to
has got a
reply to
comment.
your comment, Bohemius, yeah, I agree with you there. Like I said, I have constructive criticism for anybody, whether they're above or below me, because I treat everybody with pretty much the same amount of respect most of the time, unless they haven't earned it, or I guess they haven't treated me with the same amount of respect. But like I said, I think Ash is a nice guy. I respect him. I've done an interview with him. He seems like a cool guy. I think Kurgan's met him already. So,
Yeah,
um,
he was
but
pretty witty guy
I think people who climb
and
to the
humble.
top with just like the algorithm alone, if you had the choice, right, and you didn't have to follow a path, would you? Is what I mostly ask, because I've never done that, and that ends me with no views, right? But at the end of the day, I'm choosing what I want to post, because at the end of the day, that's what YouTube was meant to do. It's meant to
Yeah.
be so that you could post what you wanted to post. Now, I don't hate post. I don't post hate speech, and I don't like do anything stupid. But at the end of the day, I post what I feel, and I don't do those weird fucking thumbnails like I don't do the
Yep. Yep.
or the
The
with
the
the
fake
like weird
tears
shit. Like I
rolling
don't do
down.
clickbait.
Yep.
Like yeah, it's
cat
Um,
pointing at you. Yep.
but yeah, I mean, you gotta play the game, and at the end of the day, that's fine. I'm still gonna give people shit about it because I mean, it's your job. But
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, if he's got a job and he's doing what he needs to do, I mean, I don't like I said, I don't know the guy personally, so I can't really tell. Like, I can't really like give a full on statement. But I did say like based on what I know about him already, I think he's a good content creator. I think he deserves what he's getting. I do think that he does toe that algorithmic line a little too tight, but besides that, yeah, I think he does a good job.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
if you open up your YouTube profile, I had this. It will say, "Would you like to use AI to give you video suggestions?" And it has
fuck
like,
that.
yeah, exactly. But I mean, I looked at it to see what it was, and it's just like, oh, you should do a video on like the history of HeroQuest. You should do a video on, new HeroQuest mods. It was just like, well,
Yeah,
I do that
that's
stuff
new.
anyway. Yeah, it's like, but I'm not gonna, and I'm not saying he does that, but the YouTube is constantly like pushing that on us to say like, oh, this is how you should run your channel. You should do this. Here's a suggestion. And it's like a lot of people are going to try that and say, oh, will
Well,
that get me more views? Like there's another thing where it's like, oh, put up this thumbnail or try this other thumbnail. It's like, which one do you want to do? And we'll pick one for you, which we think is like better for your video. It's like, okay.
we'll get back on that because that goes with our AI topic.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Watercon
Yeah.
explains communication is the key to a healthy relationship.
Yes.
If you don't have that foundation to begin with, it will fail. The validation of strangers means nothing. And yes, common sense would tell you that.
Yep.
Um,
But
but we do live in an age where people are doing this a lot of the time.
yeah, but seriously, how often do you think of the Roman Empire? That was another one. Uh, gotcha. Look at the product placement. Strange Bus is sponsored by Sprite. Oh yeah.
No, I am not. No, I am not.
Hey, image is nothing.
You have to
Way
you have to
your
blur that out, Kurgan. You have to blur
Yep.
that out. We don't we're not sponsored by I'm not sponsored by anybody.
It's Spurt.
Sprunk? Sponsored by Sprunk.
Sprong.
GTA Sprunk.
Yep. Lemon beverage.
I'm sponsored by What Plants Crave.
Oh dang. We're living in an idiocracy.
That's right.
Oh my
It's What Plants
balls.
Crave. Oh my balls!
Yeah.
Get out of here, Peyton.
I knew that line was coming. Yep. Pardon the pun. Oh man, what a movie.
Dax Shepard was great in that one. So good.
Yep.
If you haven't watched Idiocracy, you should.
Oh, you just look
I'm
out
just
your
gonna say it
window.
now.
Just turn on TikTok. You're there already.
Yes, that too, that
But
too. But
if you want a vision, a startling
please,
vision of the future.
please say your name as it appears on your ID. I'm not sure. Not sure. Is that the name that you wanted? No, no.
So dumb, but yeah.
Yeah. So it's really good. Yeah. The best part about that movie is how we devolved so bad that Fuddruckers
Yep.
turned into 3 different things before it became.
It's the
I'm just yeah. We're just gonna say it just became butt fuckers.
Yep. That's what you were thinking, but no
Yeah.
subtlety. Subtlety is gone completely.
No.
Yeah. Oh,
And it
man.
was still a food. It was still a food establishment.
Yeah.
So
I liked Fuddruckers. They had some good stuff. Never look at it the same way again.
no,
Can't.
that was a long-standing joke back in the day. Like I would pass a Fuddruckers, and that would be like the first thing. Like, hey,
Yep. Oh man.
I would recommend watching it. It does have a lot of dated humor.
Yep.
Keep that in mind. There's a lot of dated
If you're
humor.
one of these
There
sensitive,
are
politically correct people, yeah, you're gonna have a heart attack about
you're gonna have a hard
for
time.
15 minutes. Yeah.
There are two scenes where it mentions a very incorrect term, but besides that, the movie is funny and it does foretell some things that might actually happen. just how trashy and shitty the world can become.
Yep.
But yeah,
It's exaggerated, but not a lot. Yeah.
the president played by what's his name?
Oh yeah.
The fucking Old Spice guy.
The fucking Old Spice guy.
That's all I can think of. It's the
Let's see.
big strong black dude. I can't remember his name.
All right.
But yeah, where was I going with this? I totally
And
forgot.
directed by Mike Judge as well, of course.
Yes.
Yep. I'm looking
Well,
at
that was already happening. Look at the Crocs. Yeah. Yeah, dude.
President Camacho,
Yeah.
played by Terry Crews, the inimitable.
Yes, that's right. President Camacho by Terry Crews. Yep.
Yep. Yeah, Luke Wilson. Maya Rudolph is in it. I forgot she was in it.
Yep.
Wow, it's been a
I
while.
think she was the love interest, if I remember right.
Yeah.
It's been a minute. I think it was like 2006 or 2007 when that movie came out. I was
2006.
14.
Yep.
13 then.
Perfect time to see it. Yeah, it's a snapshot in time of our humor in those days as well.
Very much so.
Mm.
Very much so. Dane Cook was getting popular around that time. You just had Carlos Mencia coming out around 2004, 2005. There's a lot of shit happening
Yep.
around that time, and it was all offensive.
Yep. Yeah, that was the whole point.
Edgy.
Yeah, edgy. Yeah, before edgelords were a thing. Yep.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
Well,
That guy's wise.
I mean, so going back to our previous topic before I completely lose what we were talking about. I think I already did because we started talking about Idiocracy and I was like, oh man, that movie's so good.
Yeah, it always comes back to some good movie or memory.
For real though, like for real, they're great movies. You were talking about how YouTube's like going into the AI market. There are a lot of places going into the AI market.
Yep.
But yes, YouTube is trying to get pushy. There's another thing. If you are in the UK and here, they are trying to do. I think Google's more trying to push people to age verify with their ID,
Hmm.
as well as their face or their credit card. So you might see that more if you're over here. I don't know about any other
Well,
countries, but I know over here that's what they're trying to do for age verification. So anything adult that's rated on YouTube, I've gotten notifications like, hey, we need your ID or your face or your credit card, which I have not given out at all. So just keep that in mind.
they
I
already.
know there's some rumors,
I mean, YouTube.
but
YouTube. I think it was like, okay, if you get this level of popularity, you're automatically verified, or you're supposed to hold your ID up in a video, like of your face, and don't worry, we'll delete it after a while.
I don't trust that at all.
Yeah, I didn't do it.
Not in the fucking
It was
slightest.
tempting to print out an ID that showed me with like the Uncle Zargon like beard on, and like me wearing the beard, and like, say it's me. But no, I just was like, fine, I'll wait then. I don't want to give that to you, so I just won't do
I
that.
can I can watch most videos anyway, and like I got this when I was playing Perfect Dark. A lot of people are jumping into streams and saying we can't see your stream because it's age verified, and over here they want us to give them your ID and shit, and we're not doing that. So, yeah, I told people that I don't know about like de-aging my streams, like taking the age verification off. But if that's going to be a mandatory requirement,
Well,
I might just soften up my content for Twitch when I stream and just,
yeah.
you know,
I mean,
take that off.
AVGN did that. I mean, originally his videos were uncensored, but I mean, for a while it was just, yeah, he would mute out all the profanity on his YouTube videos.
Yeah, because like at the end of the day, they can't really stop that if people just take off the age verification portion and save the videos for kids. So that way people can watch it without needing. I mean, you probably get some in trouble, but
Yeah,
you know,
this is not advice.
or it's not. No, it's not advice. I'm just saying, like, this whole we're trying to make sure that we are accountable on the internet for other people's children is I think is way out of hand. Um, YouTube has already kind of like controlled a lot of the market by saying that like you can't have like gory stuff and you can't have like really abusive content and you
Can't use
can't say the
certain
word
words.
fuck within 30 seconds of the video, and you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this, and like there's like a fucking laundry list of rules. And Twitch is kind of getting that way too. Like, you can't do this, you can't do that. That's fine, I guess. I mean, it helps. But at the end of the day, it's also up to us as parents to tell our kids, you can't get on twitch.tv right now, you're too young.
Yep.
Or YouTube may not
Yep.
be a great outlet for you at 8 to 10 years old.
You don't get a smartphone.
Like, I'm not just handing you a tablet without parental controls. That's what I've done. I took the weekend, and all the tablets that I have set up for my kids they have hourly restrictions. They have what they can play on them. And YouTube is not an app that they can watch. My kids have no access to. I think the only access they have to YouTube is when I'm around, and like it's the stuff they have to watch. They have to get verified by me.
Well, one of my
So
friends had it where it's like, yeah, it's like everything you do on there gets sent in a report to me. Like, I've got it.
yeah, well, that's the same. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I get stuff sent through securely and stuff. So any internet enabled device is controlled either through Google, Apple, or securely. So I get reports weekly,
If I have to
daily.
get Chris Hansen in here, I will.
Yeah, and then you have a seat. Take a seat for me. But I know it sounds like micromanaging, but at the end of the day, and I've said that so many times. That's like my favorite word at the end of the day. But
Yep.
to simplify it, I feel like we shouldn't let the government and any business regulate fully your children. You are responsible for how, for what your kids watch, for how your kids handle things, and what you introduce to your kids as they age. And I can't personally understand anybody who says, well, my life's too busy. I only, like, if you only have 1 or 2 kids, I have 4. I think me and my wife do a great job of handling it together. If you are a single parent and your life is complicated, whatever, you're excluded from that. I'm not speaking personally to you. If you have an overextended life that is crazy and full of absurdity, fine. But I would still recommend that they just don't watch YouTube then. And that you don't let them have a tablet unless you can watch them. If you don't have the time to set up parental controls, don't hand them a tablet. Kids are people, right? They think. They can find ways around stuff. Think about like you being a child, because you were once one. Everybody was once a child, like now that they're an adult. Like, think about the things that you thought about your parents. If your parent told you to not do something, like completely over and over and over again, eventually you're going to start wondering what that is. You're going to be curious, or you're going to want to do it. So at the end of the day, there I go saying it again. I feel like it should be introduced slowly, and that way they're not just throwing themselves into it.
Teach them wisdom.
And yes, safety and guidelines. It should really be like a 60-40 or 70-30 split. I think the company is responsible for how they regulate what's on the website, and you are responsible for what your child does personally and how you control what your child sees and stuff. It shouldn't be the other way around.
Yeah. So don't just like throw random porn and gambling into your games without disclosing it, but also parent your kids.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. Yeah. So like I was saying before, the whole ID thing I think is a little much. I don't give out my ID. I'm not gonna give out my ID over the web. And I know some people are gonna think that's a little extreme, but with all the data breaches and stuff,
Yeah.
you should look up the app T. It was like a women drama app where they could talk about men and stuff. That required you to have an ID, I think, submission, personal data. That all got breached, and millions of women got their ID and addresses leaked.
Yep.
And because it was such a hostile app, because it was meant to demean the opposite sex,
Yep.
it got in the opposite sex's hands, and a lot of women were put in danger.
Yep.
I
Well,
am not exposing myself to anything like that.
there was another example. Do you remember Ashley Madison? It was like,
you you
yep,
mean you mean the affair website?
yeah,
Yes.
cheat on your spouse, and it's like, yeah, that got breached.
Yes.
So it's like, well, there you go. Yep.
Yes. That
So,
was almost I think a scam in itself.
but see, even if it's not like, oh man, those people deserve to get, uh, whatever. It's like
Nobody deserves to get like hurt
everybody.
personally. There's a life lesson in doing that naturally where like
Mhm.
if you get caught, your comeuppance is coming already. Like I don't think like there's a lot of people like, well, they deserve to be killed and maimed and stuff. I'm like, well, okay,
You're
you
extreme.
can go live in the Colosseum days
Yep.
where everything was dealt by death.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
insane. You
and
don't need to do
everybody
that.
everybody tends to think, well, I've got nothing to hide. It's the other guy that, you know, deserves to get humiliated. But it's like there's stuff that you don't want people to know, or other people don't deserve to know. So yeah, there's always have a little
And
empathy.
I'm not defending cheaters by any means, but like at the end of the day, God, I keep saying that. I need to stop saying that.
At the end of the day, you need to stop saying at the end of the day.
Yeah, at the end of the day, dude, I need to stop saying at the end of the day.
Got him.
But to finalize, they nobody deserves to die or something like that. We all deserve to live our life. We deserve to learn, at least to give the opportunity to learn. Sorry, it's getting late. Like make up for your mistakes. Like dependent on the crime, I guess. But you know, eventually people are gonna say, "Well, you lied to me, and you don't deserve to live either." Like that's extreme punishments. I think are a little excessive.
Mob justice. Yeah.
Yeah, Coliseum justice.
Might is right. Let's duel, says Chaser. Two of you are gonna play.
Yeah.
What's that medieval game that you were fighting the guys with the armor and daggers and stuff?
Oh,
Not chivalry, but
no. I'm just playing it. Oh,
not die by the
half
sword.
sword,
Half sword. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
dude. That's a fun game, dude. I can't wait for the full release of that game. I'm gonna be all over that
It's like 5 minutes of fighting in like 30 minutes of you just like beating the guy's corpse with your weapon.
because it was so fun.
Yep.
I actually completed the demo. And there was like extra stuff, so I actually got through all the tiers. They give you like a special bonus, like challenge. So that was fun. It was really hard because it was kind of like a roguelike.
Half sword.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I'm ready. If you're ready, I'm about out of
How did you?
things to talk about. I'm about out of gas. So
Well, it's been good to come back to the Rantcast.
yes, it has, and we should have more topics and things to talk about as the year progresses. So
Yeah, man.
don't stray away. If what I will say is this. because we have a decent, like, small community. If you know anybody who's interested in the Rantcast, spread the word. That's what I will ask.
Yeah.
Um,
Bring a friend.
bring a friend.
Prefer an
You
enemy.
know, encourage people in our Discord to come see the stream. We want to start my goal, just like the Strange Bus, was to start a community, to get people talking, to get a debate rolling through, to get things like moving, to get guests on our show. Um, I could care less about the money. If it comes to the fact that we need money and equipment, we can figure that out.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's about getting, I said it again, but it's about getting our.
Every time he says that
We're gonna
phrase,
put a
you have
we're
to
gonna put a
donate.
counter right here. We're gonna put a counter down in the corner. It's like,
Broke the counter. Yep.
but it's all about building that community and getting it growing. So we have merch. We did a merch thing for a little bit.
Oh yeah.
We did a merch thing for a little bit. We have t-shirts. We need the community. We want to build the community here. Just like with the HeroQuest Discord, same with like my Discord. I want to build a community. I want to get people talking. So if you have topics you want to talk about, if you have an idea you want to spread, if there's anything you have for the Rantcast, submit it by Monday. We can put it in on Tuesday. And get people coming in here. Help us get people coming in here. That way we can start the discussion. We can build something awesome.
Yeah, I like that.
But Kurgan, if you want to take us out, that'd be great.
To play us out. There's no words. What does that even mean?
No.
We'll do it live.
No.
We'll do it live. All right.
Right.
All right. Yep. Rantcast. Let's get the music on. Seno.com.
Cast. I'll just simulate it.
Hey, Rantcast. Bohemia says Texas got the first Amazon shipping. Wizards of Morcar. So that's our HeroQuest news. Not much else. All right. Rantcast. Back to the music.